Existence Brewing.
Here's another Existence Brewing single shot.
Well, I'm always keeping an eye out for things, although these days I'm not doing that very well. It's probably hard for you to see. It's looking a little better today, but I can actually now relate to a line from Terms of Endearment between Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson that I never thought I'd be able to.
Would you like to come in?
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes.
Yeah, and for contrast purposes, I now know what Jack is talking about because I have had needles stuck in my eyes.
So I've heard of people having to go through that. How does that work?
It's actually not that bad.
Okay.
It's actually not that bad. So I have this thing. I had this thing years ago. Woke up on my 46th birthday with it. It's called central serous retinopathy, and it's basically fluid that leaks under the retina. Supposed to go away in 3 to 6 months on its own. So you know me, stubborn, don't want to do the doctor thing. Found out what it was, stopped panicking quite as much, tried to wait it out. Took years for it to go away. In the meantime, I never had the laser surgery they said I could have and all these other things. And so it actually permanently scarred my vision in a few spots in the right eye. I can't see. I've got dead spots over there. They're not real bad, but they are there. So then it finally went away, and I had another issue with my eye a few years ago and went and saw this lovely woman at the local clinic, this ophthalmologist or whatever they are. She gave me, said, oh, this other thing's just a broken vessel in a weird spot. It'll clear up. You should be fine. And then, by the way, you don't have retinopathy anymore. We took a retinal scan, and there's no fluid in there. And it's like, okay, perfect. That's great. So backtrack, probably end of first week of the new year. That's my New Year's gift. I wake up, and I've got a bigger spot than ever. And there's like overlapping ones. There's like a really dark one that's small. It looked like a diamond ring, actually. I called it my diamond ring because there was a small, like dark blister, what they call it, right dead center of my vision around 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And
it's
there
like
was a ring.
It's like a shadow kind of.
Yeah. And there was a full blockage. That was like you can't see through it at all. And then there was a ring around that. And then there was fluid in the middle of the ring, and it warps text, and it makes it very difficult to see. So I thought it was my central serous flaring up again. So I just went in earlier this week and had a scan and, the full thing. And she said, well, it's not central serous because that's not all fluid. That dark spot, that really dark spot you're seeing is blood. And so what happened is, as a result of the fluid being in there for so long, my body responded by saying, we're not getting enough oxygen to our retina. And started a process that can happen across the iris as well to the cornea, which is called neovascularization, where your body tries to grow new veins. It's very cool, actually. So it actually has grown some new veins in there to try to bring oxygen to an area that it felt, through its alarm system was depleted. The problem with any new vascular growth that the body attempts is that it's often flimsy and it's weak, and it doesn't last. And so the problem is as blood was flowing through there and my body's going, oh yes, one of those burst back there. And so I got a pocket of blood and fluid that surrounded it when it ruptured. So I got to have shots into my eyeball. The first one is a numbing shot. It's basically it's exactly like going to the dentist. They give you a topical in your eye to numb the sclera and the whole thing, actually. And then in the sclera, they do an under the surface injection of like eye Novocaine, or I don't know what it's called. And then that totally numbs your eye. And then they pry your eyes open a la Clockwork Orange, and they just stick the needle right in the eye.
Oh, brother.
But you can't feel it, and it really was quick. And you can see the medicine when they inject it swirling around. It looks like when you introduce gasoline to water or vice versa.
Oh, you can
But-
see like little clouds.
You can see the medicine swirling in your vision for a few
Oh.
minutes afterwards. It's kind of interesting.
That's
but,
wild.
They got to track it and see if it gets worse or comes back.
I still haven't been able to find a doctor that'll tell me why I don't have to wear contacts after my aneurysm.
Well, I think we know the answer to that. It's because it's one of those things that crossed over from the metaphysical to the physical, and doctors don't like that shit. Spooks them, because in their minds, everything needs to have multiple layers of empirical evidence in order to be vetted and proven out and sussed out. And so whenever you go to them with a story, same thing when I had kidney stones, and the doctor said, "You'll never pass this one. It's too big." And I went to the herbalist in my neighborhood, and he hooked me up with this stuff. And I went back with a little jar a couple of months later and said, "Hey, doc, look at that. What'd you say about this one?" And all he did was just go, "Oh, yeah, look at that. You passed it after all," and sent it off to the lab. And I was like, "You cocksucker."
How big was it?
I just showed you 11.5 millimeters.
So it's like the size of a BB, or what is that?
For a kidney stone, that's like Chicxulub asteroid sized. That's huge.
But like, what was the reference for size?
I'm trying to think of a reference for size.
Like a nerd?
A nerd, one of those multi-nerds that has like 5 stuck on it?
Yeah.
Think more like that.
Oh,
and now...
like a
and
mega
now-
nerd.
And now take your mega nerd and hold it up against the end of a strand of spaghetti, because that's how wide the tube that it's supposed to go through is, the ureter, which goes from the kidney to the bladder.
Yikes.
I'm really pissed at the company. They don't make the herbal blend that he gave me anymore, too. The company is Thorne, and Thorne used to be off the grid, off the radar, no advertising, just making good shit to help good people everywhere. Now, seeing ads for them, they're trying to break into the mainstream. Big herbal pharma don't like it, and they stopped making this stuff. It was called uristatin, and you can still replicate the blend by buying the herbs separately. It's only about 4 of them. But what this stuff does...
Black market herbalist.
It relaxes what's called the smooth muscles, and your ureters are a smooth muscle, whereas most muscles are rigid and generally inflexible. The smooth muscles, if they are able to be relaxed, are very pliable. And so that's how a kidney stone that large was able to track down my ureters pretty much fully undetected, because, I could feel something at the end. There's a curvature at the end where it narrows, and that's always like a tough zone for kidney stones to go through. If you're a kidney stone former like I am, that. But it makes the smooth muscles stretch, so when that stone enters, instead of just immediately stopping up the urine and then distending the kidney, which your kidney is not meant to flex. It doesn't like to hold any fluid beyond one. It's a drip machine. It's like an IV bag. It's constantly designed to filter and drip. And so when you plug it, it doesn't like it, and it immediately causes pain. It's the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. It's awful.
Yikes.
But this allowed the ureter to actually stretch, and because it stretched, and because the stone wasn't perfectly round, and they never are perfectly round, there's gaps that when your kidney drips urine, it allows the urine to pass through still, and it doesn't block. And
Yikes.
so down it crept, and eventually out it came. And I'll tell you, that was a mighty one to shoot out the old wee-wee. But I don't have them anymore, thank God. Knock on everything available that could even possibly look like wood on that note.
I've heard that it's more painful than
childbirth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that's the case. But I think when you take the whole thing, having him on top of you, being impregnated, carrying the child, that's probably more
That's
painful
probably
than
pretty
anything
bad,
in
yeah.
existence, human.
I would say the worst thing I ever had was a spinal tap.
Oh, I've never had one of those.
Yeah, you don't want one of those. And when they nick a nerve in your spine, the feeling that radiates throughout your body is it literally is like being shocked. Like your body completely goes crazy, and it's the worst pain I've ever felt. It literally felt like somebody was ripping my gonads out of my back. I mean, it literally was just horrendous.
Well, the best thing to do in life is to stay out of the doctor's office if you can.
Let's stay out of the doctor's office.
That's basically what I said when I went in. They were like, "How are you today?" And I said, "Oh, never looking forward to having a new life experience more in my life." And she was like, "Oh, I'll bet. But the doctor's very good and you'll hardly notice it." And I'm just like, "I hope so."
It's real good.
I got strong eyelids, man. So you better pry those fuckers open. They apparently have. She talked to me about this too. God, I can't remember what she said they were called. I gotta ask her again. Because there's a word, if you've seen Clockwork Orange, those actual clamps that they pry your eye open with and walk away. They have those at the optometrist's office. But she said people often report that they cause pain. And so she said she just has a tech hold your eye open. Which would you prefer? And I said, I definitely want the human touch. I do not want to look like a Clockwork Orange. So just let's pry him open. And man, that woman's got strong hands. When she pried my eyes open, I was like, shit, there's no blinking now. You got Andre the Giant's like descendant over here. It's like.
We hope this single shot inspired you to want more Existence Brewing. To check out full episodes of the podcast and for more, head to existencebrewing.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts online.
Existence Brewing.